Hello and welcome back to Rotten Rust Garage. Before I get started with the video today, I just wanted to cover a couple of quick things. It'll only take a minute here. But I just want to say there is a lot of experts out there that do this stuff for a living and are really highly qualified. I am not one of those people. I'm just a regular working schmo. I got a full-time job, I got a family. I am doing this as a hobby and it's fun. And I often don't know a lot of the things that I'm getting into. I'm not an expert. Don't claim to be, never will be, I'm sure. But I am having fun. And I'm always trying to do it on a budget because probably like you, life is expensive without a hobby. So, if you like having fun and, learning stuff, that's what I'm doing it for. I like learning. When I don't know how something works or why it's not working properly, I take it apart, figure it out. It's a lot of fun and it's very satisfying. So if you're interested in all that kind of thing, you're in the right place. But by no means is this instructional on what you should do or how to do it. I'm just showing you what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, which is probably wrong the way I'm doing it, but that's okay. I'm still having fun. So as always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy this video. Today, got an hour or two to spare and gotta start cleaning this stuff up. Lot to do. Order some parts, wait for those to come in. In the meantime, clean up gasket surfaces, try and get some rust off of this, get some rust off of the pulleys so that they're not destroying a new belt when it all goes together and hopefully, fingers crossed, starts running. Gotta get some figuring on this thing, gotta realized all too late that when I ordered a bunch of parts that I didn't get a new transmission mount. This is not going to work in a B-body, so I'm going to have to figure that one out, get some more stuff ordered. Actually figured out I missed ordering a lot of things for this. So today it's a bunch of cleaning and prepping. So lots to do and very little time to do it. So I guess all I can do is really get after it. I'm going to use some 500 degree primer. Not a restoration, just making them look a little better. But this stuff is ancient. It's been in my cabinet for a long time. Let's find out if it's going to work. Hey, see if it's going to stick. All right, fish eyes. My kind of paint job. So I'm going to do this for a little while. And y'all can laugh. Let's get some ventilation in here. Woo! It'll look a little better. But it does seem like overkill for valve coverage. I'm only going to use for a little while. So I'll doll it up with nice stuff when that day comes down the road. All right. Hey, delivery. I mentioned earlier I did not order everything I needed. Great company, by the way. Great company for doing this kind of thing. See what they sent me. Some sweet stickers. Set that aside. Much needed. Yes. Ooh. Yeah, a little Carter fuel pump. That'll do the trick. That's the one. All right. And new EDP coated center sump oil pan. Man, that's nice. Very nice. And yes, came with a gasket. That is huge because I'm gonna need that for that windage tray. There we go. Look at that beauty. Dipstick. Yes. And what do we got here? Valve stem seal. Engine gasket kit. Got a lot more things that I just ordered, and there's a couple more things that I'm missing, and there's some things I'm not going to be able to order until I start getting it all in the car and seeing what I got. So that's that. All right, well, get this transmission. I want to drop the pan, get the oil, whatever's left in it, out of it. Even though the dipstick tube is broken at the top, the handle, it's fluid's got some pinkish red to it, but it's probably okay. It's really low, obviously, but you know, while it's out, might as well go ahead and service it. So I got this contraption here to set it on, and it's probably going to be a disaster. As soon as I get these bolts all done, removed, it's going to probably go everywhere. Yeah, that's what happens, I guess. This is pretty rickety. We'll see what happens. She's dripping. All right. Get this front one snugged back up a little bit more. I don't want the front to fall all the way, just enough. All right, she's starting to go down. Yeah, let's see. The fluid's pretty good color, you know. You can see that. It's not terrible. It's not burned up, so that's good. So the point is just to get it changed on. Got a new filter kit coming, new gasket, and this thing's been sitting a lot of years. I want to see what's in the bottom of the pan. You know, I mentioned it was in an RV, so, with the engine, the overheating, probably a lot of idling, probably a lot of low RPM. Hard to say, whatever you do with an RV. So I don't expect this transmission's been hammered on too much other than pulling probably a heavy vehicle. I have no idea what size RV it was. But anyhow, let me get a screwdriver and try and encourage this open a little bit more. Drain a little faster. There we go. Yeah, that didn't look too bad. So just looking at the bolts, I see this one is a hardware store bolt, and it's also orange. It's not the factory, which has the little lip edge, you know, it's kind of recessed at the very top. And this has 2 washers on it, so maybe this thing has been serviced at some point. I don't know, but that's interesting. I don't think they would have done that when they were putting this transmission together. All right, there's only a little bit left in there. And let's take a look. Oh, I see some stuff. All right, what is that? Ooh, it's a chunk of something. Don't know what it is. It's kind of hard. There's a couple pieces of it in here. Huh. It's definitely not metal, but here you go. Here's the, oh, that's not bad at all. That's to be expected right there, only a little bit. And fluids, not terrible. I don't know what those 2 little pieces of or chunks were, but this, you know, I think it's going to be an okay transmission. Down the road, send it out, get probably a better valve body put in it. Yeah, make it a little harder hitting for more horsepower, but that's not my forte. I'll pay somebody to do that. But that's, again, down the road. All we got to do is be able to get the 69 Charger moving back and forth. So we're on the road. Well, I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot more done today. It's one of those kind of days. It's a snow day. I think I'm just going to enjoy the fire for a little while. All right, good morning. Back at it again today. Didn't get a whole lot done yesterday. A lot of tedious stuff, you know, cleaning gasket surfaces on the engine, cleaning up on the transmission, the mating surface, all kinds of stuff, trying to get the oil pan surface clean. I'm not going to flip this engine over to do that, although that's the best way to do it. I'm just going to fight with not only the pan, the new pan, but the windage tray and the 2 gaskets, and obviously I'm going to try and get some RTV on there to hold all that together. It can all be cleaned up later down the road when the engine eventually comes back out for a machine shop. Interesting on the transmission, the gasket came off in one piece, so it did not see any RTV going on there, which is really kind of cool. I suspect from the color of the transmission fluid that this thing has been serviced at least once, which would probably make sense. You know, if this thing had around 50,000 miles or so, around 25,000 miles, 25,000 miles, if the owner cared, they probably took it and had it serviced, which is a good thing. So I don't know, again, huge gamble to put all this together, throw it in the car and see if I can get it to run, especially considering the car itself has so many wiring issues and so many bugs in it. We're gonna have to figure all that out as we go. You know, all I have to do is try it. So I guess right now I'm going to clean up this mess a little bit, stand the transmission up, get it slid out of the way, get the filter off, continue cleaning under here. I think I've got all the old gaskets scraped off, but it keeps weeping oil under, so I'm going to get all that dried off. Probably use some lacquer thinner on there and then start putting the gasket up on there. And, well, I got to get the oil pickup tube off, so I'll do that today as well. Just a couple odds and ends and keep moving forward. I don't have a whole lot of time today, so I'm going to take advantage of what time I do have. All right, let's go. Lift with your back. There we go. Calamity. There's the transmission bolts. Yep. Gonna puke some more now, obviously. But that's all right. Gonna be a little easier to service this way instead of laying on my back. That surface is nice and clean here. Just go ahead and put that there. Get this. Well, it's gonna be a couple days before the new filter shows up. So So I'll probably just leave this one dripping all over the place for the next couple of days till the new one shows up, and then swap it. Get the pan cleaned up and painted on the bottom, and then put it all back together, slide it out of the way. I got to figure out a torque converter. Might be one inside the car. Don't really know. It'd be a truck torque converter. This is going to be a pig anyway, so it'll probably just fine for what I want to do, which is just move the car in and out. I absolutely cannot wait to get that car in this shop. So bear with me while I go through all this. All right, get some of this stuff out of my way and pop this thing off of here. Oh, it's probably gonna leak out some. All right, not too bad at all. There we go. New one, old one. Yeah, follow that line, you'll see the difference there. So, get just a little bit of light up under there. Slap this one in. That's too far. Is it going to go around again? I think so. There it is. That's nice and tight now. There we go. That's what we want. That looks good. Right there in the center. Now real quick, just take the new oil pan and check the sump fitment. And this will go this way. This needs to be cleaned out real good. Yeah. Right there. So I went and got the windage tray out of the parts cleaner, let it soak. Still some gasket. It does look like cork went on the bottom of this to the pan, and then it was like that Kevlar gasket between this and the engine block. So here's the thing though, like this needs a lot of cleaning, and I don't think it's going to be essential to put this back on just for what I want to do. I'm just going to be putzing around here in the yard. Like I said, not a high performance motor. And so I think I'm just going to set this aside. I'll certainly start cleaning on it one of these evenings. But it's not needed for what I'm doing right here. And I think if you disagree, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. But I will say this, and some of you probably figured this out. If you watched the previous video when I was taking the oil pan off and this fell out of there, like, whoa, and prior to that, like, whoa, this thing's gonna overflow my little oil catch pan. And it was a lot more than 5 quarts. I'm gonna guess it was 7, maybe 8 quarts. I didn't have a dipstick in here so I could see where it was at with the level. But it makes sense for an RV truck motor. It was a really deep sump in that thing. And it would make a lot of sense that for a heavy duty usage that you would want the heavy duty oiling. So this is probably like a heavy duty oil pump, or it may just be a standard one, but that would call out for the windage tray and the extra oil capacity in the bottom of the pan. So that all makes perfect sense to me. And if you were wondering if this will fit with this pickup tube, yes it does. And obviously I think it'll work. This is just their standard Chrysler windage tray that they would have put on like even the HP engines probably, back in 69, 70, 68, whatever. But this needs a lot of cleaning. So I'm going to get after this thing off camera one of these evenings when I'm just sitting around. A lot of gasket surface to clean up. It's kind of a little bit of corrosion on there. Just, yeah, it probably has RTV from the factory. I'm just gonna delete that for now. And I think we'll be just fine. And you know what I'm gonna do? Just gonna use the old cork gasket that I got with the engine rebuild kit, set this nice gasket aside, and you know, because I won't have to scrape that gasket when the time comes. It's gonna get a hot tank and all that'll come off at the engine machine shop. So yeah, I think that's the way I'm gonna go. If you disagree or think that I'm insane, well, you're probably right and I'm probably wrong, but leave me a comment. Tell me how insane I am. So I ran my errands this morning. Can't believe it. Went up to the Wally World specifically for one thing. And walked in that place and I spent $163 on stuff. But you guessed it, not the one thing I went for. Brake clean fluid. I need some brake cleaner, brake parts cleaner. I want to empty out the shelf up there because it's about the cheapest place to get it. And I came back home and now I'm down to like a quarter of a can, my last one. Life is difficult, especially when you're stupid, like me. If you're interested, 5T for truck, 440E, looks like it got double tapped. Don't know what the E means. Extra capacity oil, I don't know. Some Mopar nut out there, please tell me what the E means. And then 731 is probably the day and the month in 1975 that they stamped this, because this was the time that it was probably put together. So there you have it. Got this surface all cleaned up. Boring stuff, you know? Boring stuff, but it needs to be done. Got that cleaned up. Oil pan surface is cleaned up. Valve covers are ready for a little bit of blue paint, which I'm out of. And I got it on order from Amazon. And paint the little pulleys black still. Descale the trans pan. I'm going to do that now and get it out of the way. Slap some primer and paint on that so it'll look beautiful on this old transmission. Brand new. Quick things that I like to do. I just took some acetone and wiped down all this, and it's brand new, I get it, but it still came out pretty dirty here. And so another thing was wiping off the bottom of this the machine surface where the oil pan's going to mate to the block. Tell me how you do it. I don't know about y'all, but since I'm going up, I want this gasket to stay in place. So I'm going to do some RTV to the pan, and I'm going to do some very tactical RTV, like right here and right here where the timing chain cover meets the block itself, and the same in the back where the main rear seal goes, meets the block. That's like an aluminum piece. And there's a tiny bit of a step there. There's a gasket that goes around that. Same thing here. There's a gasket in here. But so I'm just gonna hit those spots with a little bit of this, let it start drying, and smear it around right here. Put this on there. Make sure I got it proper way. There's the proper orientation. I just want to let this set up for a minute and let it hold it in place. So here we go. Not a ton, just a little bit. In fact, when I pulled this off of here, when I pulled the original pan off, not this one, but the original one, it looked like from the factory, if they used any kind of glue at all, it was just the tiniest bit to hold the gasket in place. But I didn't notice any kind of RTV or anything like this on that old pan. So I'm thinking they didn't do it, but different strokes for different folks. I have seen where people say absolutely you want RTV on this. It's not going to hurt anything. Worst it can do is help keep it sealed. I'm just going around the inside edge here. Got nothing to lose, and who knows how long the oil pan will actually even be on the car. Cheap insurance, keep it from leaking, but I think it'd be just fine with just the straight cork. But more than anything, I want this to stay in position. Smear it around a little. Get my acetone rag, wipe my fingers off. They're all snug down now, and that's good enough. They're not tight. They're just snug. Just holding the pan in place, let that RTV set up. These like 20-25 minutes. Go back around, do crisscross applesauce, whatever, diametrically opposed torque pattern, and torque them to exactly whatever pounds I torque them to, and go from there. Dipstick in next and wait for an oil filter, that kind of stuff. We'll just press on. And this is completely overkill for what this is going to be, but whatever, it's fun. So we're going to do it. I ain't gonna be out here long. I gotta get out of here. Too much. But it's gonna look good. I'm just gonna put the bolts back in so I know where they're at. Put the new transmission mount in, different from the old one from the truck. When it goes in the car, got some other stuff to clean up over here. The snipped speedo cable. Yeah, get this cleaned up a little bit, unscrew that. It'll be fine. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Got a couple of things done. Not a lot. Nothing crazy, nothing big, but it's the tedious little behind the scenes kind of stuff that you got to do when you do a project like this. Just getting that engine together enough. Plan is to slap it in this car after a couple of things are done to the car, and see if I can get it running just so I can move the car in and out of the garage while I work on it, and the ability to get it out of here and bring in another vehicle to service or whatever is going to be epic. And I really want to have the car inside the shop, not outside, where the mice can feed on it. Spoiler alert! So I hope you enjoyed this. Please come back next weekend and you'll see the car being moved. And I'm really, really excited about that so that we can start working on the car and not just messing with the engine that's gonna go into the car. I think it's gonna be a lot more fun and a lot more real. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but hey, I'm in no hurry. Hope you aren't. Hope you're enjoying your day. Thanks for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you next weekend.